meeting of the Regional Transportation Commission of Southern Nevada.
Thank you, Vice Chair and members of the Commission. Your first item is to conduct your first citizens participation period.
Thank you very much. And before we start that, I just want to make the note that our chairman, although he is not with us here in person, he is definitely online. So I want to welcome him, and of course, welcome everyone else here. Okay. Oh yes, please, Councilman.
Mr. Vice Chair, if it's okay with you, I would like Caleb to introduce himself. He's an avid bus rider, excuse me, I keep saying that, bus rider. So if he can introduce himself for the first public comment, I'd appreciate the opportunity. Your name?
Oh, my name is Caleb Bree.
2 or 3 positive things about the bus.
And I ride the bus like every day, and it's generally pretty safe and clean and really timely, so it's nice.
Thank you, Caleb. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Oh, thank you. And of course, as a 30-year teacher retired, I definitely value and recognize the future and the potential of our young people. And I think throughout the county, we have young men and women serving through the Summer Business Institute. And I'm not sure if we have any interns with us. We do? Maybe we can get them to come out here and we'll recognize them or something for the next time. All right then. So this is the first time set aside for public comment. This time is limited to comments on items included on the agenda. Those wishing to speak on a posted agenda item, now is your opportunity. Please come forward to the microphone to provide your name and comments for the record. Each individual is limited to 3 minutes for their comments. And I already have people lined up, so let's get started.
Good morning. My name is William Lynn. I'm the president of ATU Local 1637. As of a year ago on the 1st was my first year in office. We have done a lot of good things, but when I came into office, we were organizing the cleaners, the fuelers, wash crew. I say that because it seems to fall that these humans that we were set to organize were being treated really badly. And we blamed a lot of their wages and their scales on the company that was actively providing the contract. Right now, at this time, it's about to go up for RFP. When I first got into office with the RTC came to us, we were working on conversations that we could have when we could work together, when we couldn't, and when we could have to agree to disagree on each other. With that being said, these people that have been represented and are about to be going out to RFP for this low bid have been 100% where the union is being X'd out. Those people are not guaranteed their positions. When we went to Carson City to fight for not only the security, but the cash fuel index, we went on the basis for the people that ride the bus, the operators that drive the bus, the mechanics that fix the bus, and the cleaners and fuelers that clean the facilities and wash the equipment. They handle the bios. They're the ones that selflessly out there when it's 114 degrees. And when it's cold and raining, they're out there still providing this service. It seems that, to us at least, that they're being forced right back into the same position of being basically enslaved at $11 an hour to the lowest bid of 30 people. And my fight can't be with those 30 people because knowing what we've already done, the RTC has still chosen to do what they choose to do. We will be more, our legislative team will be more trying to get and have meetings with each of you on the board individually and at your other separate meetings, because obviously we don't know, I realize how much of this you guys realize. So later you're gonna give this crystal bus to us. I appreciate it. We fought hard, but like I said, we didn't fight for me personally. My name's on here. The ATU fought for the fact that the passengers that ride the bus, the operators that drive the bus, the mechanics that fuel it, that fix it, and the fuelers and the cleaners. So I'm respectfully gonna go ahead and give this back to y'all. I appreciate it. Have a good night. Thank you.
Next person?
Dennis Hennessy, I'm just a driver. You know, nobody. I wanted to come up Now, to talk about, I think it's item number 38. Last month, you talked about coming forth to explain the legislative session and what, I think that's item 38 today. What I'm asking for is that when item 38 comes up, we as the union and the drivers acquiesced. We've always wanted transit police. We've pushed transit police. A year ago, before the legislative session started, MJ came to us and asked, hey, look, we want to do this security initiative with the legislative session. Would you support us in this? And we have. So when you come up today to explain to us the legislative session, I would like to know what's going to be different. What's going to change? What can we expect to see different from security? What can we, because as of now, we're seeing no changes. It's the same people that were marksmen doing the same job. Now, I come up here in the last several months, I've talked about how presence is better. I think it is. But one thing that needs to completely change, and I think you guys as an organization, MJ, need to get TransDev out of the BOC operations because they can't fix it. They haven't been able to. It's getting worse. BOC is getting worse. When a driver calls and says he needs an intercom guard, he doesn't need 30 questions and a stall tactic for them not to come. RTC needs to take over BOC and get this group of people that can't run service out of it, because nothing's changed and it's worse. Now, we still want transit police because there's consequences with transit police, but what we're getting now hasn't changed. We acquiesced to you guys and said, look, we'll support you because it's a move in the right direction. We're seeing no move. I'd like an explanation on what we should be seeing. Ms. Berkeley, it's nice to see you here. Mr. Sigerbloom, you weren't here last month, so it's great to see you here. Trust me, you're going to see me at the next level because I definitely have some things to say. Thank you much.
Thank you much. Next speaker.
Good morning, good people. And how y'all doing this morning? Fantastic. Glad to see you, Mayor.
Of course, your name for the record, please.
And Justin Jones with the voice. Hello. And council, the mighty council. And MJ, mighty MJ.
Sir, just real fast, I hate to interrupt you. Can you just speak your name for the record?
Okay. Yeah,
We know you, but...
and mighty MJ and her mighty team. My name is Eric Melchizedek Christ Nimrod. Nimrod in the Hebrew language means valiant, strong. My name has been slandered, particularly calling it stupid. Nimrod, you're a Nimrod. But that's all going to be dealt with later on at another time. But Nimrod means valiant, strong in the Hebrew language. And to fact check that, you can look in Young's Analytical Concordance to the Bible, page 696. And it'll be there waiting for you. Now, what I'm talking about Agenda 26, about on-call shelter removing and repair services. This one, I found out to my dismay that the shelter has been removed at bus ID 2725 on Route 108, Tropicana and University Center Drive. The chair is still there, but the shelter to protect you from that 108-degree heat, it's not there. And I'm surprised and saying, now, what's the deal? There's no construction going on. The only thing I see is the shelter missing. So I would appreciate Agenda 46 looking into that, because we the people who ride these buses, we need the shelters and we need the buses to come on time. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nimrod. Are there any other speakers? Okay, let's close the public comment and go to the agenda.
Thanks, Vice Chair. Next item is to approve your agenda. It is in order and ready for your approval.
Do we have any comments or questions from the board? Got a motion and a second. Let's go ahead and go to vote. Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. MJ?
Thanks, Vice Chair. Agenda item number 3 is to elect a chair and vice chair.
All right. So at the flood meeting this morning, the board re-elected Commissioner Jones as chair and me as the vice chair of the board. I'm not sure if there's any difference of opinion on this with the colleagues, but I think I would recommend following suit with this for the RTC Board of Commissioners. Does anyone on the board have any other recommendations?
Mr. Vice Chair, I'll make a motion for the chair as Commissioner Justin Jones and yourself, Isaac Barone, as the vice chair.
Now that's efficiency. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mayor. Let's take it to vote. Aye.
Aye.
Thank you much. Motion passes.
Thanks, Vice Chair and the rest of the commission. Now for your seat report, and today we are officially welcoming Rob Stevens. He's our new Deputy CEO. Rob comes to the RTC with about 30 years of transportation experience, both on the private side and the public side. Very excited he's bringing his leadership here, and you'll get to know him more intimately. This is only, I think, his 8th day in the job, so no pressure, Rob, no pressure. Okay, favorite time of the CEO report is to recognize hardworking individuals, and today we are excited to recognize Transit Maintenance Administrative Clerk Lisa Gold. So let's watch as Director of Fleet Roger Johnson surprises Lisa with her Crystal Bus Award.
Thank you, MJ. Today, I have the pleasure of recognizing Maintenance Administrative Clerk Lisa Gold, who consistently goes above and beyond to support the maintenance team. Lisa ensures payroll, PTO, and vacation are managed accurately and on time, diligently checking forms and documentation to ensure everyone receives their entitled pay and leave. She catches and resolves billing errors quickly and manages hundreds of uniforms, tracking every piece and avoiding costly losses. In addition to her attention to detail, she goes out of her way to show compassion to her team members, making thoughtful wellness check calls to those who are out sick, and always being available to listen when someone needs support. Lisa's dedication, accuracy, and empathy make her an indispensable part of the team. Now let's surprise Lisa with the Crystal Bus Award. Hi, Lisa. How are you doing today?
Good, you?
I'm doing good. You have a moment?
Yeah, sure.
I'm here on behalf of the RTC board and our CEO, MJ Maynard.
Okay.
And it's my honor to present you with the Crystal Bus Award.
Oh, my goodness. You gotta be
We
kidding
know
me.
how much you support the team, and we wanted to say
I'm
thank
back
you.
in the way back, though. Nobody notices me.
Oh, we recognize your outstanding dedication,
Wow.
your exceptional service, and your commitment to the community. So we wanted to say thank you.
Thank you. I just want to say thank you to everybody, RTC, all the wonderful employees here, and thank you. I don't know what else to say. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Lisa, is she here?
Is Lisa here? Is Lisa here? She didn't make it?
She did not make it, but again, everybody matters. Every job is just as important as the next one, so I really appreciate all that she does for the rest of the TransDev team.
She's probably at work
Probably.
and, doing her thing, and so, hey, that's pretty commendable.
And next, I do want to, and Billy, I'd love to meet with you later, but really appreciate the ATU leadership. Also, Ashley Cole, the general manager of TransDev. They were crucial in helping the RTC move our priorities during the legislative session. TransDev Area General Manager Ashley Cole, ATU President Billy Lynn, ATU Past President Ron Williams, and Francisco Ortega-Renteria, they dedicated their time, their expertise, their personal experience, their professional opinions. They traveled to Carson City. Really can't thank them enough. They were and are great partners. So let's watch as Deputy CEO Angela Castro surprises them with their Crystal Bus Award. I do want to mention that one of the BDRs was a transit security bill that was signed by the governor, and that now allows the the intercon officers, security officers, to remove disruptive passengers from our vehicles. Prior to that, to this bill, and without the help of the ATU, That was not possible. They were only allowed to remove disruptive customers from our transit facilities and from our bus stops. They were not allowed to remove them from our vehicles. And so because of the ATU and their help, and Angela and her team, and all the good work, they're now able to remove disruptive customers from our buses. So we thank them very much.
Thank you, MJ. It's my pleasure to recognize today several outstanding individuals whose dedication made a significant difference during the 2025 legislative session. Today, we're recognizing 3 remarkable union members, Ron Williams, William Lin, and Francisco Ortega Renteria, and TransDev's General Manager, Ashley Cole. From long days at the legislature to last-minute travel delays, these individuals displayed incredible perseverance, professionalism, and teamwork. Whether it's testifying in hearings, meeting with legislators, or sharing their personal stories that brought our transportation priorities to life, they did it all with heart, purpose, and a shared commitment to the people we serve. Ron, Billy, and Francisco advocated not only for their fellow operators, but for our transit riders across the region. ATU's presence reminded everyone in Carson City that behind every bus route and transit schedule are real people who care deeply for our community. And I'm sure that many people don't know this. It could be our little secret, but Ashley Cole did a remarkable job sharing her journey about the value of public transportation. You see, she grew up relying on public transit. Then she became a bus driver and eventually made her way into management, now overseeing the Las Vegas operations. Her story touched so many, and her leadership helped ensure that everything ran smoothly. Their collective efforts elevated the importance of public transit across Nevada while helping push the RTC's legislative priorities. So come join me as we surprise Ron, Billy, and Francisco, and Ashley with the Crystal Bus Award this month. Good morning. I just wanted to say Billy, Ron, Francisco, Ashley, thank you so much. On behalf of the RTC Board of Commissioners and MJ Maynard, we are just incredibly grateful, and our community. We're incredibly grateful for the work that you've done this past year to help us with the 2025 legislative session.
Yeah, I'd like to say thank you to the RTC, the Board of Commissioners, MJ. This was a no-brainer. The ATU always back anything that's good for the city, good for the public, and good for the operators, mechanics, and entertainers.
I'd like to thank MJ Maynard and the Board of Commissioners at the RTC. This is a great surprise. We worked very hard to try to get this legislation passed. We did a lot for this session, and just thank you very much. It's greatly appreciated.
I want to thank MJ and RTC for presenting me this award. It was a tough battle, but the legislature went through. I'm proud of my team. I'm proud of the ATU Local 1637. And I want to thank everybody out there. Good night. God bless.
I just want to say thank you to MJ, the Board of Commissioners, on the opportunity to support a bill and the community in this fashion. As I've expressed through the process, it means so much to me, not only personally but professionally. So it feels good to be a part of a team that understands how important transit is. And thank you guys for the opportunity.
Thank you so much.
If they're here, maybe let them stand so we can recognize them.
It would be great. Want to come down? Photo? Billy, Ron, Ashley, come on down.
All right.
1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Ashley, Ron, Billy, thank you again. Appreciate you and all your efforts.
All right, and as we get readjusted, I guess we can go ahead
Okay,
and
we'll
continue.
continue, sure. And again, Commissioner Sagerman, per your request, this is our monthly transit ridership. This is a year-over-year look at May. As you can see, we continue to see an increase in ridership. We've saw a 38% increase in our on-demand service, so that was an increase of about 15 new riders or 15 trips on our on-demand service in May of this year, an 18% increase in strip service, and even though it shows a 1% increase in the residential ridership, that's an additional 37,000 trips. So again, the TransDev team, the operators, mechanics, everybody involved continues to do an amazing job. These are the routes that we've seen an increase in. If you notice, Decatur, Fort Apache Rampart, Sunset, and then Cactus, Horizon Ridge, and Boulder City are the 4 routes that we saw the highest ridership increase year over year. And that's what it looks like. Again, our outlying routes continue to do exceptionally well. And this is just, again, a rolling trend of the reduced ridership. And again, we can't acknowledge the drivers enough that operate in the resort corridor. It's not easy. It's challenging because there's there's tourists every day. They are brand new, don't know what they're doing, and the drivers shine. They really do a great job. So I'm going to turn it over now for the next agenda item to Deputy CEO David Swallow. He's going to provide you an update on the progress of our roadway funding, including fuel tax and sales tax.
All right. Good morning, Mr. Vice Chair, members of the board. My name is David Swallow, Deputy CEO for the RTC for the record. I'd like to begin our quarterly report providing an update on our roadway funding. First slide here, we have all the projects that since FRI was initiated back in 2014 that have been started and completed to date. As you can see, we have a total of 719 projects that have been started, with 515 of those completed to date. Another 111 are in construction, and then we have 93 in design. When you look at the total dollars under contract between the fuel tax and the sales tax, we have nearly $2.6 billion that is funded through the fuel tax, including FRI, and nearly $500 million in sales tax revenues. When you look at what's under contract to date, we've awarded over $3 billion in contracts through the local jurisdictions for these roadway projects. And that's just a little bit above the $2.8 billion that we have in revenue to date, with $2.3 billion, this is the most important number, $2.3 billion actually paid in invoices for the design and construction of these projects. Adding to that, this effort has helped support nearly 23,000 jobs through the program since it was started in 2014. For this last quarter, the fourth quarter of fiscal year 2025, I want to highlight some of the noteworthy projects that were completed. The first is Jones Boulevard from Blue Diamond Road to Windmill Lane. This project is where a bridge was constructed over railroad tracks connecting Jones Boulevard across from Blue Diamond to Windmill. This is a long-awaited project for a very fast-growing part of the community, home to many residents and businesses, cutting down on commute times by literally bridging the critical gap and expanding to the southwest area, our roadway network. Jones was also widened to 3 lanes, updated traffic signals, added new signal at Jones and Wigwam, helping improve traffic operations. It also included sidewalks, street lighting for improved safety, access, and comfort for everyone who lives, works, and visits the area. The project wrapped up in March and came in under budget at approximately $50 million. Next project we'd like to highlight is 7th Street from Bridger Avenue to Stewart Avenue in the city of Las Vegas. This project brought a range of roadway and utility upgrades, including pavement restoration, curb and gutter work, and the installation of new storm drain down the center of 7th Street to improve corridor-wide drainage and flood control. To enhance safety and accessibility for pedestrians, cyclists, and other vulnerable road users, the project also included wider sidewalks, new street trees, upgraded streetlights and traffic signals, improving striping and signage. In addition, to make it a little bit more fun, they added the festoon lighting between Carson and Fremont's to create a more welcoming and enjoyable experience for both residents and visitors. The project was wrapped up this fiscal year at a cost of approximately $11.3 million. Finally, in the city of North Las Vegas, we had construction on Deer Springs Way at 3 intersections, including Losee Road, North 5th Street, and Clayton Street. To support this growing area of the community and make these intersections safer, new traffic signals were installed. They repaved the roadways, added new street signs, lane markings, and freshly painted striping. Along with that, the curb ramps were upgraded to meet ADA compliance, improving accessibility for everyone. The project wrapped up in June at a cost of approximately $3.6 million. In the city of Boulder City, they recently completed a neighborhood reconstruction project in the Del Prado subdivision. The project focused on repaving streets and improving accessibility for all residents. Work took place on Pato Drive, Olmo Way, Otono Drive, Paloma Drive, and Del Prado Drive. Crews removed old, worn-out pavement, adjusted underground utilities to ensure alignment before laying down the new pavement, helping create a smoother, safer ride for drivers. They also looked at the outdated sidewalks, curbs, and driveways, removed them, and rebuilt them to be compliant with ADA standards, making the neighborhood easier and safer to navigate for everyone, including those with mobility challenges. The project wrapped up in April at a cost of approximately $586,000. In the city of Henderson, they added a rectangular rapid flashing beacons at Water Street and Juan's Flaming Fajitas, and then Pecos Road at Millcroft Drive. The city identified several locations, particularly near parks and busy retail centers, where enhanced pedestrian safety features could have the greatest impact. I'd like to show a video that showcases the improvement at Pecos Road and Millcroft Drive intersection, highlighting the safety enhancements for our most vulnerable road users and the benefits to the surrounding community.
The collaboration between the City of Henderson, MC4 Construction, RTC, and the Complete Streets program was key to the success of the project. We decided to do a pedestrian safety improvement at Pecos and Millcroft due to the proximity of the different facilities within the area, such as the Green Valley Park, the transit bus stop that's right adjacent to the park, and the Union Pacific Railroad Trail that's just up the street from the park. We decided to decrease the disruption of the area by choosing the solar rectangular rapid flashing beacon. This way, all of the construction could be done within the shoulder of the intersection. This minimized the disruption to the vehicular traffic and the businesses within the area. We included a solar rectangle rapid flashing beacon at this intersection, along with high visibility crosswalks and improvements to the ramps for ADA compliant to help improve the pedestrian safety within the area. How we ensured that we met ADA compliance at this specific location is all solar rectangular rapid flashing beacons are installed with a push button, and the push button is installed to meet ADA requirements for all mobility users to be able to access. When the residents requested better access to the nearby facilities, during our review, it met the criteria as a high priority site for pedestrian safety improvements, and when the project was developed, this intersection was included based on both community input and identified needs within the area.
I think it's amazing for the safety for our children. It's right when we come here, and people fly by really fast. So definitely feel that that's such a great part of this park. We needed that so much. Thank you. I think that's so great for our kids. It makes us feel so much safer when we're at the park. So really appreciate that.
The funding for the project came through the RTC interlocal contract for Complete Street. Seeing the collaboration come together and knowing that the impact will have for years to come just really makes me proud.
Excellent. Shout out to Christina Richter at the City of Henderson for doing that video and very important project. With that, we have some other projects that were just recently completed on Harmon Avenue from Maryland Parkway to Pecos Road, traffic modifications on Cambridge Street between Twain and Flamingo, and then on Cary Avenue from Nellis Boulevard to Toyabe Street. Next, I'd like to highlight our capital improvement program, which you approved last month. This is for fiscal years 26 through 35, our 10-year program. For everyone's benefit, we receive and appropriate the funding we receive in motor vehicle fuel tax, fuel revenue indexing, as well as sales tax to the jurisdictions based on population and taxable, how they assess the taxable value of the properties in those communities. And so this is kind of the distribution for everybody. The 10-year program is just over $1.4 billion. And you can see how it's spread between the different communities. Those that are listed on our RTC may include projects like Maryland Parkway, the regional type projects, as well as what goes to our fast traffic management team.
And Dave, if I may, what you see here, this does not include the extension of fuel revenue indexing. So once that ordinance is done, and agreed upon and signed, this figure will be updated. We'll bring that back to you at a future date.
Yep. Thanks, MJ. Next, I'd like to highlight just the number of projects that are included in this next 10-year program. So I've talked about all the projects that we've done to date. All those numbers are exclusive of the numbers that you see here. So the projects that are in the CIP are above and beyond what we've already shown as initiated to date. So as you can see, we have currently 94 projects in design, also with another 111 of those in construction. And we say in design or in construction, meaning that's what the money is programmed for. We haven't actually authorized it. Will do. And so finally, the purple bars represent the number of projects planned over the next 10 years. There are 256 for a total of 256 of those for a total of 461 projects are either underway or will be delivered soon or programmed to be delivered by the end of 2034. Next, I want to highlight the regional goals, and this really speaks to how the project types and what they're trying to accomplish with all of them. As you can see, we have 4 main goals and how we categorize the projects, from maintaining and improving transportation system infrastructure to enhancing mobility and safety, improving efficiency and expanding the network capacity, and finally optimizing traffic. As we started back in 2015, we have our Seeing Orange website where you can stay informed as a commuter. You can log on via this QR code or our website, seeingorangeenv.com. If you don't have a computer and you just want to get information on, say you see a project when you're out and about, feel free to call our phone number, which is 702-928-CONE or 2663, and we'd be happy to provide information on any of the projects that you see out there on the roadways. And that concludes my presentation. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ms. Hio. Are there any questions or comments from our board on any of these items? All right, well, again, thank you very much. Just in regards in North Las Vegas, at this time last year, I remember, I think the day after I took the walk up and down Cheyenne Avenue, just seeing what problems we had there. A lot of it just, design standards from the late 60s or early 70s that we don't do anymore. I'm very happy to see that we're taking a proactive approach and fixing things before they become a problem. And I definitely appreciate every bit of investment that the RTC does in my community. And with that, I guess we'll end this one and go to the next item.
Thanks, Vice Chair. The next item is to receive NDOT's report from Deputy Director Mario Gomez.
Good morning, and thank you for the opportunity to provide an update. For the record, my name is Mario Gomez, and I'm the NDOT Deputy Director of Operations and Maintenance. And so with that, I will begin this morning. I'd like to start off by sharing the most recent traffic safety data with everyone. This data runs through May 31st of this year, showing that there was a 9.5% decrease in fatal crashes statewide from last year, 2024, to this year, 2025. So those are really good news for us. There's been 112 of the total 162 fatalities have been here in Clark County. Speed and impairment remain the largest contributing factors to fatalities per our study. Statewide, we've had 46 pedestrian fatalities this year. That's a 20% decrease from this time last year. In Clark County, there has been a 16% increase in motorcycle fatalities and a 133% increase in bicyclist fatalities. Moving on to a little bit of an update on our project in the resort corridor, which is the I-15 Tropicana project. It's nearing substantial completion. Tropicana interchange is complete. It recently opened to 4 lanes in each direction. We also opened the newly constructed Tropicana on-ramp to southbound I-15 and the newly widened northbound I-15 off-ramp to Tropicana Avenue. That includes the hook ramp to Frank Sinatra and Arena Drive. I-15 is also back to full capacity. So other project features for this important project includes Joy Bishop Drive, which serves as another north-south route next to Dean Martin Drive. This southbound I-15 on-ramp was constructed to allow for this new road underneath the Tropicana Avenue. So there are also other improvements includes that there's now more left turn lanes from Tropicana Avenue to northbound and southbound I-15. Other improvements includes for pedestrians and landscape enhancements, which includes 10-foot wide sidewalks, the new bridges and wider entrance from Russell Road to northbound I-15. We've also added an active traffic management system, the signs and the wrong way driver alert signs as well on this important project. Also a new HOV, which is a high occupancy vehicle half interchange on the south side of Harmon Avenue, has been newly constructed as well. And as a finishing touch, we will be paving sections of I-15, which will require full closures of the interstate, which alludes me to the next slide. So here's the details about the I-15 directional closures for paving operations in July. The I-15 northbound closure will take place beginning at 9 p.m. on Friday, July 11th, and will reopen at 5 a.m. on Monday, July 14th. I-15 northbound will be closed from Russell Road to Flamingo Drive, as well as associated ramps. Those ramps includes the I-215 ramps to northbound I-15, Russell Road, Tropicana, and Las Vegas Boulevard ramps. As a detour, drivers can exit via the Russell Road off-ramp, drive north on Decatur, and re-enter the interstate at Flamingo. So the following weekend, paving will occur on the southbound lanes of I-15. The I-15 southbound closure will take place beginning at 9 p.m. Friday, July 18th, and will reopen at 5 a.m. on Monday, July 21st. I-15 southbound will be closed from Spring Mountain to Tropicana Avenue, as well as associated ramps, including Spring Mountain, Flamingo, and Harmon ramps. As a detour, drivers can exit via the Spring Mountain off-ramp, drive south on Decatur, and re-enter the interstate at Tropicana. Once paving is complete, drivers will experience a smoother pavement throughout this corridor. So now that the Dean Martin and Tropicana interchange is back open, there's a new traffic pattern as well. Previously, drivers could travel directly north or south on Dean Martin Drive by crossing up to 6 lanes of Tropicana Avenue. That movement is no longer permitted. So a newly installed raised median on Tropicana now restricts through traffic, and a new dedicated turn lanes on Dean Martin Drive require drivers to turn right at the intersection, whether heading north or heading south. To maintain north-south connectivity, Joy Bishop Drive has been constructed parallel to Dean Martin Drive. The new road runs beneath the southbound I-15 on-ramp from Tropicana, providing a streamlined and safer route for continuous north-south travel. So here's the before of what the Tropicana Avenue interchange in Dean Martin looked like, south over I-15. And here is the after rendering looking south. On top of the view of the new Dean Martin traffic pattern, this also showcases the new Joey Bishop Drive and the upgraded off-ramps at Tropicana Avenue. Moving along to other projects, NDOT is working on a project to repair and replace retaining walls and sound walls along a 1.1 mile stretch of I-11 and US 93, formerly known as I-515 and US 93, between Flamingo Road and Desert Inn Road. Construction began on May 5th, and it is anticipated to last into the spring of 2026. These walls were originally built in 1985, and it's time to update them to ensure structural integrity. These upgrades will enhance the structural integrity and safety of the corridor while ensuring noise mitigation for surrounding communities. At this time, we don't anticipate any impacts to the traveling public. So last month, NDOT started its I-215 preservation project. The project area on I-215 is from Las Vegas Boulevard to Windmill Lane. This will include mill and overlay over the existing pavement, structural repairs, ADA upgrades, and tech upgrades for signals, lighting, and ITS. This work should improve the efficiencies or bumps on the highway. The top layer of pavement has been removed at this point, some portions of it. So drivers will be driving on concrete until we initiate open grade paving, which is to occur sometime in August of this year. Nighttime closures will be utilized to minimize disruptions, and this contract is anticipated to be completed sometime in the winter of this year. Last but certainly not least, I'm going to give an update on our I-15 North Widening project. NDOT hosted a ribbon cutting event on Tuesday, July 1st to celebrate the widening of I-15 from the Speedway interchange to Garnett interchange as part of our I-15 North Widening project. Lieutenant Governor Stavros Anthony, a representative from Governor's Office, North Las Vegas Mayor Pamela Goings-Brown, City of North Las Vegas Councilman Isaac Barone, and other stakeholders and representatives attended, including leadership from Las Vegas Paving and the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. This is phase 3 of the I-15 North Corridor improvements. We expanded I-15 to 3 general purpose lanes in both directions between the Speedway and Garnett interchange. This project also included some bridge rehabilitation work, commercial truck parking improvements, weigh in motion stations, as well as an aesthetic and drainage improvements. I-15 remains the backbone of our regional transportation network, carrying 92% of Southern Nevada's goods via commercial trucks. So we are very happy with the completion of that project. And so with that, concludes my presentation. If anybody has any questions for me.
Thank you very much. And I'm not sure if you mentioned Tracy Larkin. She's one of my favorite redheads, so one of my favorite redheads. So I definitely want to make sure that we mentioned her. And again, with an area that is really exploding and has been vital for the next 10 to 20-year development of the city of Las Vegas and probably for the valley. Thank you so very much for all of your department support.
You're welcome. I'll let her know.
Do we have any questions or comments from the board? I just have one question on the safety. We're talking about bicycle fatalities. Does that include the e-bikes as well? This seems to be like an entirely new category all itself, all the e-stuff, right? The e-scooters that seem to pass me up on the road. I mean, and I drive spirited, right? And I still get passed up by e-bikes and e-scooters and everything else, you know. Does that include e-bikes?
It does, and I'll be willing to share that information if you are interested in which percentage was of e-bikes or other bicycles, and also with the pedestrians, intersections. We keep really good records of all that information, so I can make that information available if needed.
Okay, yeah, it's like I see a trend, you know, and although I'm very happy that Clark County has taken the lead, I think, in beginning to change, you know, to the new realities, and I appreciate that. It's just something for us to keep an eye on as other municipal stakeholders. Thank you. All right, and so if there are no other questions, I keep on forgetting. I'm not sure if Chairman Jones has any questions. I never ask him. Chairman, if you haven't fallen asleep, do you have any questions?
I haven't fallen asleep, and I don't have any questions. Thank you, Vice Chair.
Thank you so very much. All right then, well, let's go on.
Thanks, Vice Chair. The next item is to approve your consent agenda. It consists of items 6 through 37 and can be taken in one motion.
Okay, are there any questions or comments from the board? Got a motion to approve, a second? Second. All right, let's take a vote. Aye?
Aye.
Motion passes. Let's go on.
Thanks, Vice Chair. The next item 38 is to receive a presentation from RTC staff on the 2025 legislative session. But before I turn it over, I want to thank all of you. The leadership of our RTC board, our chairman has been, you were behind us along the way, providing direction and insight. We appreciate you more than you know. I can't say enough about Angela Castro. She's the best of the best. She and her team spent hours. She spent a lot of time having to, I don't know, drink a few cocktails. It was so difficult. Long, long days. She really is. I think she's the best in this state. Her and her team, again, they were relentless. And then the Holland and Hart team, and there's a couple of them here, Matt and Kelsey, I think Angela will recognize them later. They were amazing. So thank you so much. So Angela, the best of the best. I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you, MJ. Good morning, board members. For the record, Angela Castro, Deputy CEO with the RTC. As MJ stated, and I just want to reiterate, on behalf of the RTC, thank you to our board for your vision, your passion, and your strategic direction, and your guidance throughout this session. We also want to, send our appreciation to your fellow board members, your public works teams, and your government affairs teams. We worked closely with many of them to navigate this session successfully. I also want to take a moment to recognize Clark County Commissioner Marilyn Kirkpatrick for her continued strategic support and advocacy efforts around the Fuel Revenue Indexing Initiative. And also behind every success is a dedicated team. And I am so grateful for our government affairs team. This session brought challenges, but they adapted quickly and they stayed focused. Over the course of more than 120 days, they worked tirelessly, leaving their families, reviewing bills, engaging stakeholders, and protecting the interests of the RTC and Southern Nevada's transportation system. We are truly, truly lucky to have built such a competent and passionate team. So if you're part of the GA team or if you assisted with us this session, please stand up, and everyone, please join me in giving them a well-deserved round of applause for their hard work and commitment to our community. And these are just some of the photos. So to kick off the 2025 legislative session, we held Transportation Day on February 4th. Despite the harsh weather and the flight delays, we successfully carried out a productive lobbying day. Throughout the day, we were joined by some of you and more than 100 attendees, including our valued partners and legislative leaders. This day was a significant milestone that helped kick off the session. It allowed us to brief legislators early in both the Senate and Assembly, and it helped set the stage for our work during the session. Just as a reminder, we began the 2025 legislative session with the following board-approved priorities: continuing the fuel revenue indexing in Clark County, extending the RTC's ballot authority through 2028, and then improving our transit security. Our first priority, as all of us know, was working with legislators and stakeholders to authorize the Clark County to continue the successful fuel revenue indexing program. Assembly Bill 530, sponsored by Assemblyman Howard Watts, authorizes the Clark County Board of Commissioners to extend the fuel revenue indexing program for up to 10 years through December 31st, 2036, upon approval by a 2/3 supermajority vote of the Board of County Commissioners. I'm excited to share that AB 530 has been signed into law thanks to the strong stakeholder support and the team's hard work in addressing Governor Lombardo's concerns. This bill passed both in the Assembly and Senate with bipartisan support. With AB 530 now signed into law, the RTC is working very closely with the Clark County staff to get an ordinance through the approval process. If approved by the Board of County Commissioners, approximately $1.2 billion in roadway funding will be generated over the next 10 years. This sustainable funding will support roadway and infrastructure projects, maintain and create jobs, and ensure ongoing investment in safe and efficient roadways. Our second priority this session was Assembly Bill 28, and this is the RTC's bill to extend the agency's ability to request a ballot question for transit funding. AB 28 made a single change to Nevada Revised Statute 277A. It extended the RTC's authority to recommend a sales tax ballot question to the Clark County Board of Commissioners, shifting the expiration date from 2024 to 2028. After passing both in the Assembly and Senate unanimously, AB 28 was signed by Governor Lombardo. As we work to address our projected transit funding shortfall, AB 28 provides the RTC with a valuable tool. It enables us to engage the public on potential revenue options for transit while offering us the flexibility in both timing and approach. Our third priority was related to transit security. Prior to this session, we worked very closely with key stakeholders, including TransDev, ATU, and Intercon. One of the key recommendations from these discussions was to amend Nevada Revised Statute Chapter 277A to grant RTC security officers the authority to remove passengers causing disturbances from transit vehicles. Senate Bill 290 was sponsored by Senator Rochelle Wynn, passed unanimously in both the Assembly and Senate, and was signed by Governor Lombardo. Senate Bill 290 was a significant step toward continuing to keep a safe and efficient public transit system by strengthening our security measures, addressing key concerns, enhancing safety, and reducing service interruptions. It's important to note that this bill will go into effect October 1st, 2025. Our Senior Director over Transit Security, Tom Atterbury, and his team have been working very closely with Intercom regarding what the training protocols will look like. That will begin. And Tom will be here at our September board meeting to provide you an update as part of our State of the System. Finally, I would like to highlight the sheer volume of legislation that staff had to process and track. During the session, the team reviewed more than 1,100 bill draft requests, actively tracked the status of 118 bills throughout the entire session, and provided supportive testimony on 10 bills in both houses. Of the 118 bills, several high-priority measures that we monitored closely were ultimately signed into law. Some of the key legislation from this session includes the following. Assembly Bill 256 directs the Legislative Commission to appoint a regional rail transit advisory working group to study regional rail transit systems and submit findings and recommendations for potential rail in southern and northern Nevada by July 1st, 2026. The RTC will participate in the working group, ensuring that Southern Nevada's transportation priorities are reflected in this study. Senate Bill 28 expands the list of eligible projects that municipalities may finance through tax increment areas to include affordable housing, fixed guideway, and high-capacity transit, multifamily housing, transit-oriented development, and other transportation projects. And I just want to take time to recognize the City of Las Vegas's team, Councilman Knudsen. I know this was our second round, and your team did a phenomenal job. And then there's Senate Bill 405, which establishes the Transit to Trails workforce responsible for identifying high-priority outdoor recreation areas in Nevada and making recommendations to improve public transit access. The RTC, again, will participate in the task force, monitor quarterly meetings, and help contribute to the required biennial report. Additional bills we supported included the modernization of bicycle traffic laws, the establishment of a regional planning pilot program, and various efforts to modernize traffic safety. With that, I'm proud to say that the RTC's legislative session was a huge success. In my opinion, this was probably our most successful session to date, with all three of our bills passing both legislative houses and being signed by the governor. This truly required a collaborative effort that extended, though, well beyond the RTC. I also want to recognize our Transportation Resource Advisory Committees, our union partners, TransDev, Intercon, our transit writers, our engineers, our planners, our small businesses, our community organizations, nonprofits, and construction companies, including Las Vegas Paving, and everyone else who I didn't mention who helped make these wins possible. On behalf of the Team RTC, thank you. In closing, we acknowledge that these measures represent only the first step towards long-term solutions. The demand for additional transit funding continues to grow, and with the legislative session now concluded, our team will begin scheduling interim meetings with legislators and key stakeholders. Our focus remains on advancing the agency's priorities, strengthening our relationships with policymakers, and laying the foundation for a strong 2027 session. Thank you, and with that, I will take any questions.
Okay, any questions for comments? I saw this hand, and then the councilman.
Thank you, Vice Chair, and again, thank you for all your work. I know it was a lot to get through. The only question I have, and maybe it's more of a statement for the RTC and for Clark County, is the next step is the County Commission. Is there anything that we as municipalities need to do to demonstrate our support for the continued fuel revenue index taxing with the County Commission?
Yep. So I've spoken to Commissioner Jones and fellow commissioners. I know that we are looking to get it in an ordinance. We're working closely with them. As soon as we get that date, we will let you guys know, and then we'll figure out what that.
Like a dog park.
I want the ordinance first.
Oh.
MJ and Angela, I just wanted to tell you, from a small community like Mesquite, Nevada, the resources that are given to Mesquite from the RTC, if they were lost, it would be a nightmare. So the hard work you did, and to the union, to all of the support staff behind, in making sure this was a successful legislative session, for us, it's the difference between night and day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilman.
I also, mine's more of a comment, not a question. I was there firsthand to see your team in action. I thought it was, the strategy was solid, it was executed very well, and it was coordinated superbly. So I'm a huge fan of great teams, and it takes great leadership. So to you and your entire team, thank you for what you did up there. It was an outstanding effort.
I'm not sure this is for Angela because it's really implementation, but to Billy's point, I think we need to start focusing on making sure October 1st, these officers have the full authority that has been given to them. So make sure the union's involved in all those kind of trainings and have their input into that, because I think that's, and then we got to publicize it too, so that people know that buses are going to be safer than ever, and it's safe to go out there for the bus drivers and for the passengers.
Couldn't agree with you more. Will do.
Anyone else? Chairman Jones, do you have anything to add?
Just I want to echo the sentiments. The government affairs team and everybody did a fantastic job, and we'll be looking forward to taking leadership role on the county commission to get the FRI bill implemented through an ordinance next month.
Thank you very much, Chairman. From my part, in regards, we do know, of course, it always takes a village, and you have a team that knocked itself out, to accomplish this. I'm really happy for some of the young blood that you brought in. Quite frankly, I think they're doing a fantastic job. The future looks bright, but it all goes back to what the councilman said: is leadership. Angela, MJ, you guys, Angela, you really knocked yourself out this time. Poured yourself into it. Whatever vacation you give yourself, make sure it's a really good one. You definitely deserve it. And in terms of security, I'll be looking to see, more than anything else, I like to make sure that certain members of the public are very aware that, things are that there are some changes coming, that they'll be authorized, and we'll leave it at that when the time comes. All right, so if there are no more questions or comments, let's go to the next item, MJ.
Thank you, Vice Chair. The next item is to receive a report from legal counsel. There are no items to discuss. You can move on to your last agenda item, which is to conduct your final citizens participation period.
All right, our final citizens participation moment. This is the second time set aside for public comment. Anyone wishing to speak to the board, now is your opportunity. Please come forward to the microphone to provide your comments and state your name for the record. You'll be limited to 3 minutes for your comments. And I see Shelley Jones and Sandra Jones, but I guess hey, you're already up. Go ahead. Yeah, you can. You beat them to it, unless. Yeah, you go ahead and do your thing while they queue up Ms. Shelley.
Once again, Dennis Hennessy, just a driver. I spoke a little bit. Thank you all for your attention to the security issues. I really appreciate it. Again, we did not know it didn't take effect till October 1st. Again, my comment would be, we're not getting anything that's changed in the last several years. While I look forward to Tom and his group making things happen, I don't have a lot of faith it's going to happen. What I want to talk to now is I heard MJ's presentation about, and it's encouraging, about ridership on residential routes. You know what blows me away? Ridership is up on those residential routes when I guarantee you the service is way down. What I want to talk to right now is about liquidated damages. I don't know if any of you know what liquidated damages are. I have asked, and now I will officially ask again, I would like someone to explain to me where on your profit and loss statement every month liquidated damages appear as income to the RTC. What it is, liquidated damages are charges to your vendors when they don't fulfill terms of the contract. I believe that's a brief summary of what liquidated damages are. Could be anything. I've been here 15 years. I'm 208 on the seniority list. So I've been here a while. There's been a whole lot of people here who have been here longer than I have. This is the worst our system has ever run. Yet your numbers are showing they're great. Dig into those liquidated damages. Dig into how many missed services, how many, what the company that's running your fixed routes is not doing. Mr. Sigerblum, very first meeting after First Transit, i.e. Transdev, was given the contract, you warned the then one of many general managers, Kevin, that you and Mr. Jones both said, and you don't really say much in this session, you told them that they didn't have much time. Well, it's 2 years now, and things aren't improving. What I think we need to have happen is we need to have some more consultants come in to accomplish nothing, because that seems to be what we get. Going back to the 208 people, I'll tell you one number that has moved greatly with this vendor. Employee morale is at its lowest that it's ever been.
Thank you very much. Next up is Shelley Jones, and is that Foxy?
My name is Shelley Jones, SHELLEY-JONES, and there's two things I want to say. Unfortunately, my sister had to leave, but her problem and complaint is when she takes paratransit, she is late to her doctor's appointment. When the driver drops somebody off at a casino that does not have an appointment time, and unfortunately, the majority of doctors are not compassionate when you're on the bus, and they need to be. And it's really hard when somebody has to make an appointment 6 months away from because they were late to their appointment. On my behalf, I like riding paratransit. I like the programs, RTC On Demand. I like Silver Ride and U-Serve. I don't have that lot of problems, but I do have a problem with coming to the meeting. I like to be here early because I like to go to the cafe down here and get a coffee and come back. And being that I am totally blind, which you know that I am, a security guard walked up to me and said here, I will assist you. And I thanked him for it because he took me down there and he brought me back. His concern was, and it's my concern as well, he told me that RTC is supposed to help me, accommodate me, because I am ADA. But yet, I'm still in this building. So wouldn't that also extend to the security that work here as well? Even though they say they're not allowed to? But it shouldn't matter, because if a blind person is somewhere and they need help, like I was needing help, I took it upon myself to go down the hall because nobody came up to me and said, "Can I help you?" And people should do that, just out of generosity. Because if it was their family member or your family member, wouldn't you want that kind of assistance for them? And safety is number one. Doesn't matter if you're on the bus, fixed route, paratransit, somebody's car. You know, safety is number one. And the gentleman that did talk earlier gave some good points. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And were you speaking for Ms. Sandra Jones? Yeah. Okay, so that's covered. Okay, I think Mr. Nimrod wants to say something.
Good morning again, good people. Lovely Mayor Shelley, the voice, Justin Jones, and mighty MJ, the mighty council, the mighty MJers. Hey, all right then. My name is Eric Melchizedek Christ Nimrod. My name has been slandered. It means, I repeat, valiant, strong. Check out Young's Analytical Concordance to the Bible, page 696. I'm straightening out a crooked road. Got a lot. Matter of fact, there's one fast food chain that when they ask for the name at the kiosk and they ask for your name, and I put Nimrod, they don't accept it. And you know, they say this got to be a joke because people have made a joke. But it's going to be all right. It got a long road ahead, but it's going to be all right. Matter of fact, now, it's good that TransDev has expanded its partnership with RTC to operate the paratransit services in Southern Nevada, which began April 10th, 2025. Thanks to Antoinette, the caring bus drivers are greatly appreciated in their mission to enhance the customer's experience along with TransDev's innovative technology solutions. Now, they got to understand, paratransit is very strong. It's dealing with people who are not too well. And they need to have compassion and be on time because the regular transit bus drivers are not on time a lot of times. So the paratransit drivers must be very, very compassionate in their driving. And last meeting, agendas 9 to 46 was extended construction to June the 30th. I might have not understood this, but I still see a lot of construction going on, particularly on Maryland Parkway from Sahara past Tropicana. And I'm wondering, well, I thought everything was supposed to be finished by June the 30th. Do I have that wrong? And RTC phone directions, when you call 702-228-7433 for directions, and if you go to automatic voice to get directions, that automatic voice will shut off automatically. Quick. It doesn't give full directions. There's a problem with that. Now, I called and spoke to a young lady named Tilly on 7/8/25, reference number 149708. But it's very, very problematic. Every time you call to get instructions about a bus, you don't get it. So thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it. God bless you all. Says
Thank you.
Nimrod.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Do we have any other speakers?
Good morning. My name is Jorge Lopez, last name spelled Lopz. And this morning, my concern is regarding Silver State and dirty bus stops. So, have I mentioned before, a month ago, was it May Commissioner Board? I'm a transit photographer, so I spend a lot of time at bus stops taking pictures. And there's particular bus stops, and I've seen Silver State employees who just come up, pull up in their little truck, just take a picture, empty the trash can, and leave. There's no pressure washing, no scrubbing, no nothing. A lot of us riders, transit riders, have to deal with that every single day. I've seen human feces, urine. I've waited 30, 40 minutes on a Saturday or on a Sunday when there's reduced service. I have to stand somewhere else because I can't stand the smell from people's feces on the seats or on the concrete or anywhere near it. I have to go stand somewhere else, risking for the bus driver not to see me and for me to miss my bus and have to wait another 30 to 40 minutes depending on how late the driver is or depending on the day. And another concern I have is intercon. I love the new bill that just passed, that they have more power in kicking people out, disrupted passengers. It makes me feel safer. When I came last May, it was also my concern regarding intercon, and seeing that there's a new bill that lets intercon remove disrupted passengers makes me happy, knowing that I could ride the bus and feel safe. And another thing I'm going to suggest is adding more officers, more officer presence, not just bus stops or on the strip, because that's where I usually see more intercon officers instead of on buses. I'm suggesting more intercon officers ride the buses so us riders feel safe, because I've seen a lot of crazy stuff. And when I call, how I mentioned on May, I was at the West End layover in Summerlin where the 206 and Sahara Express ends, and there was a guy harassing me. And I called intercon because I was getting harassed. And the driver let him ferry evade, so I called. And I called about 2 or 3 times, 30, 40 minutes passed, nobody showed up. And when I saw an intercon officer show up, he was just doing a routine check. Nobody responded to my calls. So it's costing people's lives, and I don't know, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I don't have any more cards, but do we have anybody else? Oh, I am remiss. I have our esteemed councilman and colleague.
Just a comment at the end. I know RTC kicked off the Safe Streets for All campaign, and it's going to be a years-long study, and we're going to receive strategies to address the fatalities and safety on our roads. But I would just ask, I'm more impatient. Is there anything more short-term or more immediate that could be passed on to some of the municipalities to start addressing it? I have a very eager to work with Public Works Director, and so he loves when I get this information. And so if you could pass that along to me, I would love to be able to try to enact some things to make the roads safer on a more timely basis. So thank you.
Will do, thank you.
Okay, anybody else? Well, in that case, I'll have to go ahead and close the public comment, and this meeting's adjourned.